I'm finally back, everyone. It's Emparallax, and I'm bringing you a complete profit tree guide as promised. And at the end of this video, I want you guys to be confident in spending those profit orbs and profits blessing and fully understanding the situations and how to get the most out of your profit orbs, as well as know which factions to spend those orbs on. So we are going to go over all that. Sit tight and let's dive right in. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all having a great week. Sorry it's been so long. I usually don't like to let so much time go between content releases, but I'm finally finished my taxes. Actually got somewhat of a refund, so I'm happy there. Work's been crazy, Valentine's Day, all that good stuff, but I'm finally back, and we are going to go over and discuss a complete profit tree guide. We're going to go over what factions to spend on, what are the different scenarios that I use the profit tree for, as well as profit's blessing and best heroes, in my opinion, or which faction that you should choose to get high tier heroes. So let's start out with some situations. So I use my profit orbs for varying things. So first of all, which is probably the most common, is just 5-star farming. So we're looking to have the highest chance of getting a solid 5-star hero. So with that first scenario, I'm going to dive in and we are going to take a look at each faction quickly, and I'm going to highlight some of the heroes that I think are worth it. So for Shadow, I see 3, and it's a medium 3. No god tier heroes in my opinion. Horus is probably the best hero that you can get, in my opinion, from Shadow. But my 3 are going to be Horus, Jara, and Corpse Demon. Now Corpse Demon's mostly just a big solid meat shield per se. He has good sustain, some decent CC. But other than that, he's the one that's, I think it's Horus, then I would say Jara, and then Corpse Demon. This fella right here, I built him, and it was a little disappointing. Wasn't dealing very much damage at all, nothing to note there. So he is, I guess, an honorable mention. But from Shadow, nothing too fancy right now. Corpse Demon and, Bloodblade and Walter, not nearly as powerful as they used to be. So I'm giving Shadow a solid to wobbly 3 in heroes that you could I would want to get. Then moving on, we have Fortress. I also have 3. Now we have Shia, which is a higher tier and definitely the best, in my opinion, hero that you can get from the Fortress faction. You also have Valentina, which is a solid pick, a lot of good CC if you build him right. And then good old Sig. So Sig is more of a PvE hero only, not the best in PvP, but still a very good choice in heroes. So I would give Fortress a solid 3. Flame Strike is hot or cold. Sometimes you can cheese with her, other times you can't. Not a very stable hero when it comes to patches and stuff. In my opinion, it seems like she's either really good or really bad. I still think Ice Blink got nerfed pretty hard. And Oramus is just not as, I mean, he's a decent healer, but not high enough to make my want list. So I use him now just as fodder. But so we have Shadow, let's say, with the wobbly 3. A Fortress with a solid 3. Now Abyss by far, hands down right now, is what I would recommend if you want a solid god tier or high tier hero on your team. Go Abyss. And why am I saying that? Because you have KB, who is a monster in PvP. You have Baria, which is a solid PvE pick. You also have Scary, which is solid for PvE. You have Cruz, also a very solid priest. Then you have Cthulhu, I don't think Cthulhu's didn't turn out to be as good as I thought he was going to be, but still a very solid hero. Not best in slot, and a little bit specific, especially when it comes to needing to detonate dots and stuff like that. But still a good hero. I'm going to say, and it might be, I've always vouched for Queen. She's not the best, but still she can pump out a solid amount of damage. As before I got Valk on my squad, she almost always out DPS'd almost all my other heroes on the majority of the situations. So, and then honorable mention, a solid assassin. We got this guy right here, and I'm putting him in there just because he's good he carried me through the Aspen dungeon pretty much single-handedly. So not up there in God tier, but still a not bad hero to have. So if you want really good heroes only, I would say Abyss still comes out on top with 5. So we have KB, Baria, Scary, Cruz, and Cthulhu. And 7 if you want to consider Queen and Karam. So definitely first we have Abyss, well ahead of the others. Second, coming in second with 4, I have Forest. So Valk, awesome hero, God tier in my opinion, or if not God tier, definitely S tier. Very, very good PvP and PvE hero, especially when you get her to E3. Then you have Demon Hunter, very good PvP, silences, all that good stuff. Then you have Heart Watcher, which is mainly a PvE hero, a little bit like Sigmund, but a very, very strong PvE hero, so she's definitely in there. And then, of course, you have Vesa, make sure I'm pronouncing that right. You guys are going to go, wow, it's been a while since I've had to pronounce some of these hero names. But we got a solid 4 heroes in Forest. I'm not going to go over Light and Dark. We all know that there's a ton of high tier heroes in Light and Dark, and I will explain the situations, but for the most part, I do not recommend, if you're trying to just go get some solid 5-star heroes, stay with the non-Light and Dark faction, just because I'll show you, you have a 9% chance of getting a 5-star for the other factions, and that drops to 4 with Light and Dark. And of that 4%, it seems like it's even lower to get an actually good high-tier non-fodder hero. So to recap, again, the scenario where you are looking for the best chance of getting high-tier 5-star heroes, that would definitely go into the Abyss first, then Forest, then I would say... and then I'd say it's a pretty close... I would say Fortress is still better than Shadow, but just by a little bit. These are very close to being the same, and might even be equal. But definitely first comes Abyss, then you have Forest. So that is the scenario when you're farming 5 stars. You're trying to get pick the faction that's going to give you the highest probability to get that good 5-star to improve your team. Next, you're looking for a very specific hero, maybe just 1 or 2 copies. What I normally do, instead of using Prophet Orbs, if I need more than 1, say I need 2 KBs, yes, I would usually do Prophet Orb summons until I got at least 1. Usually I would need to get at least 1 of them, and then I would stop. So that meaning, if I need more than 1 of that hero, I will farm that faction to try to get that specific hero with Prophet Orbs, especially if I need it badly and I'm really far away from the glorious relics. So that is going to get me at least 1 hero closer. And then if I only need 1 specific hero, I will usually just try to swap with Prophet's Blessing. I am pretty lucky. If you're not lucky or don't have enough Prophet Orb summons to get enough I usually have around 3 to 4,000 Prophet's Blessing after a big summon. So that is usually enough to get me at least one copy of the hero I need. That's why I still have 1,000 here, because I have some left over and I don't exactly know what I want to use it on. So that's kind of what I do when I need specific heroes. If it's more than one, I need say 2 or 3, I'll farm that faction until I get it down to only needing 1, and then I'll use Prophet's Blessing. So that is how I deal with getting certain heroes specifically to improve your team. Next, and which I don't know if other people do it, but I use the Prophet's Blessing for fodder farming. What does that mean? What is fodder farm? So what I mean is, let's say in this particular situation, I have King Barton. I have him at E1. And if we take a look at some of my heroes, I don't want to use, basically need to get a 10-star, and I need to get a 9-star. So I'm going to be looking to get specifically certain class or certain faction heroes. So I'm trying to get good old Karim up to 9-star or even 10-star. So I might farm Abyss over and over and over again just to get those fodder 5-star heroes. I might not care to get certain copies of heroes, and let's say you want to get Shia. You want to get her up and to higher tier. You want to get her to E1, 9-star, 10-star, whatever it may be, and you're really just focusing on leveling. So that's more of an end game tactic, fodder farming, I would say. I do that because I have a solid squad, full E3 squad. Even when I didn't, I had certain heroes that I wanted to build, and I knew I wanted on my squad. I wanted them on it now. So that's when I would go and just put all my Prophet orbs into that faction, just so I could get 5-star fodder, 4-star fodder, just so I can make a lot of 6 stars of that faction and use them to tier up and awaken that hero that I was looking to get. So if that makes sense, fodder farming is when you're trying to get a certain hero. You really want that hero. You're not worried about any other hero. Like I said, more of an end game tactic or late game tactic. You're focusing on one hero, and so you pick heroes of that faction so you can get that hero tiered and awakened. So that's basically most of the situations that I see when I use Prophet orbs. I'm just trying to, most in the earlier game stages or late game, sometimes you're just trying to get some high tier heroes, and you just want to have the highest probability of getting them. Like I said, choose either Abyss for the best probability, in my opinion, of getting a high tier hero, then Forest. So, right, just recapping, Abyss, then Forest. Then you want a specific hero. If you have, what I would do is farm really that faction until you get the hero enough heroes or enough copies of that hero you want down to 1. Then when you only need 1 of that hero, swap over to Prophet's Blessing to try to obtain that hero. Then lastly, we have fodder farming. Like I said, more of an end game tactic, and you use that when you're trying to quickly get enough heroes and fodder to awaken and max tier a specific hero. So that is my Prophet tree, Prophet's Blessing, and Prophet Orb guide. I hope that all of that makes sense. I just wanted to go over all that information with you. That's really the only situations that I use the Prophet tree now. Like I said, for either farming, try my luck with 5 stars, trying to get a specific hero, or trying to get fodder to level and rank up my team. So that is that guide in a very quick nutshell. I hope it made sense. I hope you guys got something from it. If there's any specific questions that I didn't answer or something that you're confused about, actually looking here, I already realized I forgot something. Before I'm done, you guys are probably wondering, why light and dark. And like I said, I don't usually ever try on light and dark. I have tried light and dark for 2 reasons. One, I was feeling super lucky. Sometimes it panned out, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes I get some high tier light or dark heroes. Most of the time, I did not. So I do not recommend spending prophet orbs on that light and dark altar. However, there's another situation, and I'm starting to get that here in end game, or not end game. I'd say I'm still in late game. I'm trying to level up, so I got my first E3 dark hero, Amuvor, and really I'm trying to get a Asmodal or potentially Belrain. I'm thinking Asmodal next, away to E3. So in that situation, I have just tried to farm out to get really, like, it goes back to fodder farming. However, light and dark heroes, 4-star and 5-star, are obviously harder to come by. So I have put resources and prophet orbs into light and dark at that stage, in my stage of the game, to try to get that E3 Asmodal or Belrain. So that is another situation where you could potentially use light and dark, but just know that fodder farming on the light and dark altar, you are definitely going to get, or most cases going to get, a lot less fodder and hero materials that you can use if you would put it on a different faction. So just make sure you understand that, know you're going to get less, and are okay with that. Because I would recommend, if you have any other hero like Valk or KB, I would definitely farm and try to get that hero to E3 before moving to trying to get a light or dark hero. But that is just my 2 cents. Now I think I've talked about everything I wanted to in this guide. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, learned a lot. Like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to try to answer as many of those as I can, or I will follow up. If there are enough of them, I'll follow up with another video. But Emparallax here. Show that support, show that love. Hit a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We will be having this week, get hype. We're going to be hopefully having a huge progress push with the new weekly event coming up. So hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Emparallax here, and remember, it's all about how you look at things.